let's talk about knowing your audience and a platform if you have a business.
Okay.
Right? And I know, Bri, me and you've had discussions about this. So I start this topic off. Of course, I've been in digital marketing even myself for many years now. So for many years, even with our business, The Rise of the 1%, we had leveraged platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We leveraged a lot of email marketing. And we're talking about online. I've done some offline things to grow the business too. We're talking about online to grow the company. And I can tell you for many years, humbly speaking, we generated hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook. We made a great amount of revenue and profit on Instagram as well. But over the last, I say, couple of years, things shifted where majority of our audience and ideal clients are on LinkedIn. Now, we've been using LinkedIn for many years. Let me be frank with you there. But over the last couple of years, that's when we've seen the spike. In Facebook, we wasn't generating as much business from there anymore, or even Instagram. So it really didn't make sense to spend as much time on those platforms in terms of business because the audience is not there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, when we even work with our clients, with their businesses growing online, we want to know, where is your audience really hanging out at? Where are they spending the most time at? And that's where you want to present your connection opportunities, your networking opportunities, to even your marketing and your sales opportunities. A lot of people believe their audience is everywhere, right? I mean, on every single platform. They're on every social media platform attempting to make every single platform work for them, and that's not necessarily the case. Yeah. And things evolve over time, right, as well. We're in the technology and digital age, now things are always constantly changing. So like I say, things that worked a couple of years for us, not currently working at this time, right? Things are always changing and evolving, so you have to be able to evolve with the times. We don't really do a lot on TikTok ourselves, with the digital marketing business, because we're more B2B and we look at TikTok as more B2C, business to consumer, right? For others that may be more B2C, TikTok may be the platform for you, right? If that makes sense.
Of course.
We post over there, we have a presence, but we don't get a lot of business from other areas as well. Like I said, we're mostly, these days, B2B, mostly LinkedIn. And we even help a lot of our clients that are in the B2B space grow their businesses on LinkedIn too. So to be quite frank with you, you just got to know where your audience is at, where they're hanging out at, where they spend the most time at. And that's where you want to show up the most if you really want to grow a business online. And Bri, I'll let you chime in on your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I agree with you there. Knowing where you stand on these platforms.
Yep.
Starting out in my industry, I started out with Facebook. Facebook was it did help me push my name, and it was an audience of my peers and people that I known, and of course it reached out to people that I didn't know, things like that. And then I come along Instagram. Instagram helped a little bit more. I did get a lot of business from Facebook in the early stage of my business. Yeah. But like you say, knowing how to change it over. Yeah. Seeing what works and seeing where, all right, this one, it stops here. Right. And it's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we are in the digital space right now. Yeah. So for me, what I've noticed regarding the Facebook anyway, I was always business. I didn't really care for the personal aspect of social media. But I did respect the business side of it. Being able to market myself how I want to, push my content out how I want to. So I did like that. Great numbers early on, but of course, like you say, these last 2-3 years, it's changed. It's changed. It's definitely changed. What I've noticed, my audience is actually over on TikTok. Yeah. Hey, being able to change. Right. Now, funny thing about TikTok, I was so against TikTok. I was so against it. Why? Because who own it? It's not owned by
Right.
American
Right,
company.
right, right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I've always looked at when it came to social media is the access we give people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agree.
Right.
You gotta agree to all this
Exactly.
just to be a part of it.
Right.
So what I didn't like was who I was allowing to have access to all my photos and all this stuff, and that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
However, when I first got on TikTok, my first sales in my real estate clothing brand came through TikTok. I'm like, damn, I don't
B2C.
like it, but
Yep.
this is what's helping my companies grow.
Right.
So, I had to, it's one of them things where you gotta bite that bullet and,
Yep.
okay, I ain't got nothing to hide. Hey, I am who I am. The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
So now I'm on TikTok and it goes.
Yeah, you were showing me your numbers, man. Like you're doing pretty well over there.
Yeah, it works.
That's great stuff, man.
So yeah, and the thing of it is, TikTok wasn't even what made me the top 3% in Georgia. That's the funny thing about it. This is a whole nother. This is my, my rental, my real estate, all of it together. But it's like I appreciate y'all
Yeah.
for that,
For sure.
Because I rock with you. I rock with you hard.
Absolutely.
Hello, this is G Bass, Rise of the 1%, Rise Media. We on this Saturday evening about to get ready to knock out some podcast episodes with some individuals here in the city of Atlanta making some big moves. You can see here, look, this is how it goes down. Here when our guests come and sit down with myself, G Bass, other Rise of the 1% of Rise Media, to have that conversation, to share the story, share the journey, share what you got going on. So listen, everybody got a story, everybody got a journey, and then you got some things going on, then you definitely can get with us and see if it'll be a fit to be on the Rise of 1% podcast and actually have that discussion with myself. It's going to be a link to a form you can fill out. You said www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. Again, www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. It's going to be in this video. You can fill that out. And we can see if it'll be a fit for you to come on and have that conversation with myself. If you don't fill out the form, then obviously it's not for you, and that's fine. We're looking for those that's serious. Those that's serious about rising to the top 1% are already in the 1%. That's what we're looking to sit down with myself right here. As you can see, Rise Media, Rise of the 1%. This is how we get down. And we have a great time and have a lot of fun doing it. So once again, if you're serious, make sure you fill out the form. We'll look over the form, see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, we'll reach out. If not, we won't reach out. We'll just continue to move forward. But with that said, this is G Bass. See you soon. Have a great one on purpose.